It's black or white, and first of all, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who's been liking, following, sharing, and subscribing. So don't forget to click on the notification button for all the latest editions of the show. Today is going to be a very interactive, engaging, maybe fiery conversation. Why? Because we're going to be looking at recent developments in the aviation industry. Now, I don't know your experience, but for some of us who have flown both locally and internationally, we have varied experience, and especially following, will I call it, it started with your Shomole gate, transformed to the Kwan 1 gate. Now it is called Kwan 2 gate. And social media is agog with various reactions, contributions with regards to Kwan 2 gate, most especially. But we're going to look at the entire scenarios that have played out. So if you have an experience you want to share with us, please feel free to share with us. And maybe on a sequel edition of this conversation, we'll take your contributions and comments as well. The house is full. We have a lot of male testosterone in the house this evening. I got my brothers. Wale, it's great to have you on the show.
Thank you very much for having me today.
Kunle, how's it going, bro?
Not bad, not bad. It's good to be here.
The man that shines the light, bright the bright.
Yeah, thank you for having me today.
It's a pleasure. Yeah. So, gentlemen, right now, Kwan 2 Gates seems to be the most talked about recent developments in our aviation history. But let's go to what may have been. I know most people have not talked about it, but seem to have sparked or given the insinuation that flyers should now begin to react to certain developments as regards service delivery in the aviation business. It was former governor, former Labour leader, former national chairman of the ruling party, and now Senator Adams Oshomole that got to the airport hoping to board his flight and only to be told, bro, sorry, you can't check in, you're late. And the man decides to shut down the airport. All we heard was his side of the story. Of course, the airlines, the aviation authority were kind of smart in handling that situation. So it kind of died down. And then we thought it was all over. Then all of a sudden, Kwan 1 gate happened. And it was all over the pages of newspapers.
I have a small contribution that I want to get our insight on, just before we delve deep into the conversation. Because we've seen, like you said, the Oshomole gates and the Kwan 1 and all that. So it is quick for the aviation players to quickly bring out these issues when it is affecting them. How many times have both, even the minister or whoever, how many times have they come back to say that, put a public notice on, if your flight get delayed or if you get, maltreated in a way? We've all had this experience where you're running late or maybe just 30 minutes before flight, and the next thing you hear is, we have closed. Basically because they want you to either sort somebody or do one or two things. How many times have we seen that they bring out these people who are faulted?
No consequences.
No consequences. How many times have these things played out? How many times have we seen a slap on the wrist of the flyers to say that if you continue to do this, Nigerians have been complaining. A lot of people have complained that I've lost, good business deals because I couldn't reach on time because the airline failed to leave at the time. You get there by 8 a.m. They tell you it has been shifted till 10, from 10 to 12, from 12 to 2, from 2 to 6, from 6 to 9. I've had that experience before. How many times have we seen that caution from the ministers or whoever?
I think what you
But when it comes to the masses, being wrong on something, it is quick to get into the social media.
I think
public space.
Yeah, I think what you're asking for is it's a general Nigerian syndrome. The aviation industry in Nigeria is a reflection of how Nigeria is.
Wow.
So you walk into our airports. The same way our bus stations used to have agberos.
Agberos,
We have agberos in our airports.
Yes.
You know, one day I was having a
And
party.
they allow it to happen. They see it.
it's
They'll tell you,
it's still
don't
there.
encourage touts.
It's still there
But they
till-
send them
Yeah.
to be the ones to collect money from you for your luggage to be checked in.
Have you noticed the fact that if you want to book a flight for 2 weeks' time right now, and they will tell you 4 seats remaining.
Yes.
Yeah.
By tomorrow, it will be 8 seats remaining. Then you start asking yourself, are the seats increasing? So when the airline opens up the flight, they have a lot of people that will go and book on hold.
Book on hold. Yes.
So they will deny you the access to be able to create
Thank you.
that rush into that airline. And by the time those people are now seeing the number of people that come in, they'll start releasing it. So the Nigerian aviation
And
industry...
that allows them to increase prices.
That's how they increase their prices.
Yes.
The aviation industry is a problem that the government needs to look at excessively. From the fact that Senator Adams Oshiomhole had a problem on allocation. And it sounded to me when he came to report that if that's the first time he's really experiencing that,
Yeah, I mean,
that
doesn't
shows
see problem.
the kind of divide the
Between-
nation,
Between reality.
the
Yeah.
rich,
Yeah.
and the
And
middle
poor-
class,
and
or the
then-
poor, or the masses
Do
in
we still have
Nigeria.
a middle class?
Yeah, but let me say, for you to afford the flight, you might be struggling.
Yeah.
But now that's the reality of how they are so disconnected from the people. They don't understand the fact that what Senator Adams Oshiomhole went through is
It's an
what we
everyday
go
thing.
through
Every day.
Exactly.
Every day.
But I'm not holding brief for the Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo, or the aviation sector. But I've noticed, shortly after the Adams Oshiomhole incident, he instituted some internal checks, right? And since Keyamo became minister, we've seen deliberate, on the face of the pages of newspapers, we've seen deliberate attempts to try to checkmate some of these vices within the aviation industry. But
How many of us still read
I'm
newspapers?
a bit thrilled about is that the Senate Committee on Aviation has come out to say that, look, enough is enough. There's been complaints, and I think Miss Emerson's incident, blew it out of the water. And they're like, you know what? We're now going to have that oversight function that will look at every facet. And it was because of that, I discovered that there have been well over 11,000 complaints from passengers about various airlines in Nigeria.
Mr. John, whatever they are doing, I will tell you the truth. If you go to the airport in Abuja today or Lagos and you're clearing yourself from security before you get to your boarding, before you get to where you're sitting for boarding, they will still beg you for money.
Yeah.
There's a form of harassment that still comes.
That one is a
The
regular
phrase is
thing.
There's a
now.
form of harassment that still comes.
You know, they
That's
will
a
say,
Nigerian-
That's a
bros,
Nigerian
Oga,
trait.
anything
That's
for
a-
us.
That's a
Nigerian
Nigerian
It's
trait.
quite a painful experience. You know, funny thing is that we look at the airport. It's like when you go to immigration office and they want to give you your passport, they forget it's an ID card. It is nothing but it's a form of
No, they
identification.
feel you are making money from
Yeah.
It's not
having
it's
it.
having
No,
it.
the idea,
So you must pay.
The mindset is that for you to afford to do a passport, it means you have money, you want to travel.
A passport is an
Well,
identification.
that's valid.
The airport, the airspace or aviation is a form of transportation. It's just
Like
it's
taking
like
bus.
a car or you're taking a bus or going with a ferry. It's just you're now going with a plane.
You pointed
And now-
out that the disparity between the rich and the poor, and that's why for you to fly,
Anyway,
it's saying that you have money.
let me come in a little bit. I think we are getting to lose sight of the fact that Nigeria as a whole, we have institutions.
Are
and-
the institutions working?
Now I'm coming there. Maybe not to the level that we expect them to,
Why?
but I believe that they are working. Now, because human error, you and I are Nigerians.
You
Nigerians
say
are
Nigerian error, not human error.
no, yeah,
We have a
I think
particular
I
error.
agree with
yeah.
you.
Even when I say human error happens everywhere in the world.
True.
There are a lot of mistakes everywhere.
True.
In the past few months, America has been having back-to-back air crash. Nobody can explain why. Some people attribute it to carelessness, human error, and all that. So it's everywhere in the world. Now, what I'm saying is that when we talk about all those issues, I've had like 2 or 3 issues with the airlines. And to God be my witness, I didn't go back to the airlines like I'm pressuring them to get results because I know the procedure I should go. I went to the Public Complaint Commission, Consumer Protection Council. Those are the people I reported to. I submitted my application and they called them immediately. And the airline called me to explain what actually happened. And that was when I got my closure. So those people made
Could that be because you are somewhat informed?
Exactly. That's everybody needs to be informed. You need to know the channel you're to take when you want to make your complaints.
When you said, if you look at the dailies in the last few months, that what they call him, the minister had made frantic efforts to publish certain things. My question is, if they want people to be informed, the issue of Comfort or K1 that just happened wasn't just published on dailies. They went as far as putting it on social media. Now, you know where the people are. If you want them to be informed, then pass the information rightly.
Even before information, let's look at the issue of K1, for example. And everybody has asked that question. How can one individual get himself to the front of a plane and say, I want to stop the plane? Exactly. How can that individual be able to have moved the liquid from many stages of security?
Exactly.
So
these are the
is it that the people checking don't know what they're supposed to check for, or at the first stage they can allow you pass,
people they don't check,
at the last stage? What we're talking about the Nigerian aviation system is that this sector is reflecting how Nigeria could be a little bit scattered. And we did a program sometimes, and the topic was, are Nigerians really coping? We're just coping with it. Because the truth is that it always boils down back on us. On Comfort Emerson, whatever has happened to her will not have happened to someone else.
True.
That situation could have been handled better. There are female aviation security members. They will have handled a female passenger. But you brought on some male to come and attend to her in a flight that you know was coming to land. I felt she was abused a bit. I knew she might have done some wrong. But the whole aviation sector, I think there's a need for a rejig. And look at how to handle your passenger. It's a business. Business and welfare. But they should see it more.
I have a different opinion.
Will suing an airline be enough deterrent to bring the necessary reforms that we expect?
So I was having a conversation with Kunle the other time, just recently, when I said that the air hostess is a product of the company, is a representative.
Yeah.
But the Nigerian thing that plays out there is that it's not my father's company. So she doing wrong because she's not a security personnel to be stopping.
Holding her from coming down from the plane.
Kidnapping her in that instance. However, now, if the suit comes from the Comfort lady, is it going to be against the hostess that held her captive or the airline? Because if a representative of the airline gets sued and that person has to cough out whatever it is, you understand, based on your question, I think it will not create a deterrent for this kind of issues to continue. But it should be an issue for the airline so that they caution their staffs and say, if you don't have the necessary composure or the training to actually stand in this gap on our behalf, then you shouldn't be there.
Well, this is surprising because, first of all, Comfort now has the services of the Nigerian Bar Association free.
Yes.
And you're talking about some of the best legal minds
because
in the country.
Most people have spotted areas.
So they're going to examine every inch of the video and come up with. So even if there is going to be a suit against the airline, they are also going to naturally adjoin parties involved in that suit. We'll take a quick breather. When we come back, we'll look at what we are hoping should be the fallout, or let me put it this way: what are the take-homes from all that's happened from the Oshomole gate to the Kwam 1 gate and now Kwam 2 gate? What are the take-homes? What are the lessons? Because the Nigerian aviation sector, over time, all through history, had at one point in time had one issue or the other. There was a time where planes were dropping like flies in the Nigerian aviation. Steps were taken to avert that. But now, it seems to have taken a totally different dimension. All that and more after this break. All right. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and press that notification button. It's still Black or White, and of course, we're looking at latest developments in Nigeria's aviation industry. Before we went on the break, the question was, if Miss Emerson decides to sue the airline, and maybe the entire aviation sector, will that bring the change that Nigerians are yearning for? And for me, majorly, what are the take-homes? I mean, that video is right now, it's playing back in my head. And I'm like, okay, she had to be dragged. I mean,
assaulted,
indignified.
Yes.
I think that's the word,
yes.
Indignified. And I think that's the most trending video right now on social media.
You know, thank God for Big Brother. Big Brother is contesting with it again.
Oh, okay.
But you know,
okay.
outside that, that's just for that's like a joke anyway. You know, you asked the question if they have to sue. I don't think the punitive measures in this situation should be first thing we want to really apply. I think we should go into the psychology of the people within that particular space and look at the people that also patronize it also. As much as there are a lot of faults that come from Nigerians, but the industry could have created a conducive environment so that when people step into it, what they meet there does not make them misbehave.
High level of professionalism.
We see a lot of Nigerians that travel abroad, and when we go to other airports abroad, we don't get to see this. So the Minister of Aviation is proposing a 712 billion naira for renovation. I would suggest that should go on hold, and if monies could go for training of people that will be working at the airport, decongesting the touts, proper training for people that work at
that's another matter.
That work at the airports. Because
but
let's look at something.
Why is it that in Nigeria, when a scenario such as the one we're discussing now comes up, the first thing you hear is we are voting money. Why is
it's
money,
always an opportunity.
Why is
that's
money
a Nigerian system?
Because I'm trying to understand.
Okay.
We're talking customer service. We're talking improving the aviation sector. They talk about having that Nigeria is supposed to be the aviation hub for West Africa, or even
which is long overdue.
That conversation has been on the table for over a decade.
So I believe that because our inability to even handle certain things, we are not even bringing that foot forward.
Let me come in a little bit here. I think we are also missing a point.
Okay.
This whole problem, from what everybody is saying now, we're blaming the aviation industry. And I don't think anybody has actually come out to say, oh, the minister is at fault here. We're just blaming the players within that sector, especially in that ecosystem where you call the airport.
Yes.
Now, if you look at it very well, you will realize that it is not totally the problem of the authority, but the people running the system.
Yes.
Now, who are the people running the system? Nigerians like you and I.
Do they have the right training?
The moment, the day, they have trainings. They train NACO and all of their stars all the time. The day we realize that we are one of the greatest problems of this country, we begin to get better.
So what's NACO?
Now,
NACO NHCO.
Yes. They handle all the goods, the luggage, and everything.
So NACO handles goods. On that vest of people that went to that plane, some people were wearing NACO vests.
And there are the people who say they get training.
So aviation security is different from NACO.
Yes, they are different. Now, what I'm saying, listen, NACO are there because when a plane lands, the NACO stars are always there to get the luggage out. Yes. You get to make sure it passes through
the luggage,
then the aviation security, most times they don't come in large number like that, except if you have cases like this.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, I let me get back to what you said when you say why can't we have women? You have women. But you know that in aviation industry, when you have number of women, number of men are always outnumbering women. Now, in that particular period, there might not be women on ground. That means they can't stop without doing their job.
But that's the wrong.
No. There's no rules that says security men should attend to only men. No.
Wow.
There's no rules that says that.
When it's a female, it's expected that female should.
They were not expecting to go and carry something they are not supposed to carry. They're supposed to lift people out.
But
nobody was expecting
so does that not
wear bra.
Does that not give the girl the opportunity to now sue the
make
company for doing the wrong thing? Because you don't have the
when they got inside there, go and look at the video. When they got inside there, the normal thing was that, excuse me, can you come this way? She refused. Because she was not trying to play that, okay, I wanted to get out, you didn't let me go out, now you want me to come out, I'm not coming out.
No, we didn't hear the vocals.
No.
We didn't hear the vocals, and they backed us. So I don't want it to sound like...
And then they wouldn't drag her if they ask her to move and she moves.
Under no circumstance should they touch her.
No! They can touch you if you want to be on the plane, on the aircraft.
She wasn't a security threat at that time.
They have rules and regulations.
No. At the point where they came, the plane was empty.
That might be a distraction. That might be a distraction at the airport. Sometimes people can cause a problem.
The airport has rules and regulation. The aircraft have rules and regulation. The security people, they have rules and regulations.
But there were no security persons there, as far as I see. They must follow all the protocols.
They can, if they ask you to move, you don't move, they will move you. That is how it happens all over
the
world.
That's touting now. That's Jaguda style now.
It happens all over the world like that. You're a security threat. They can't allow you to stay there. You're a security threat.
Okay, Kunle. I'm going to come back to this issue of how comfort was handled. But there's something you said. You said the NACO and the aviation staffs are trained on a regular.
Yes.
Is it about the training or the fact that maybe the aviation industry is hiring the wrong people? You look, there's that common saying that you can take a horse to the river, but you can't force it to drink.
Yeah.
So you could give all the trainings in the world, but if you hired the wrong people, that training is as good as pouring water on the back of a dog.
That's very possible.
This is also, sorry, let me come in, please. We had a conversation here some time ago where we said that institutions are not upholding the right, set of people.
Yes.
In whatever career path. And this is a reflection of such. That anybody who probably did an Agbero job before now, or bus conductor that stops at the airport every now and then, he becomes a familiar face that you say, oh, we have a vacancy. Call him now. That guy used to come here where now. Call him in. So if an institution within the career path knows that certain persons who have certain level of, training, exposure, or a member of a union or a what will I call it now? Someone who practices within that career path.
That industry.
Your recruitment should also be within that same area. These people are people who are dealing with customers. Is it not proper to first think of it? How well are they trained to attend to customers? We keep forgetting that customer could be me or you tomorrow.
Exactly.
How do they deal with these people?
Exactly.
They don't deal with people like humans.
I am happy that all of these things are happening. It's a call to action for everybody involved, all the stakeholders in this situation. It's a call to action. And everybody must realize they have their own role to play. Mm-hmm. We cannot leave everything to the government. We know how recalcitrant and how flagrant we could be anywhere in the whole world as Nigerians.
No. I disagree with you.
Listen.
When we get to Heathrow,
we comport ourselves.
Listen.
Or any other airport,
you see them comporting.
We follow the rules.
Wait, even at
in
that,
fact, we are the most well-behaved.
Exactly.
Even at that, some people will behave that they are Nigerians. Do you understand? I was in New York in 1995. And I remember the scenes I see when everybody was online. They could easily identify you as a Nigerian. You understand? Because of some behaviors. Some attitudes.
New Yorkers are not better. You
understand?
When you are coming from outside the country.
Have you been in a flight where if they are stopping at any point, you see that Nigerians are comporting themselves? But once you land in Nigeria, you see all of them stand up. Even before the airline even settles in.
Exactly, those are the things. I don't say we don't comport outside the country.
Yeah.
But even here, that we don't comport, that is where I'm making this sentence.
Our institution
we cannot put everything on government. We have our own distance.
Yes.
To penalize. These are the things that happen right now.
I want to say something.
Consequences.
I want to say something, which is every service rendering institution or agency needs to understand who their customers are or the clients are. Mm-hmm. Nigeria is a difficult country.
Unique market.
It's a difficult country to live in at the moment. So for a regular Nigerian going to the airport, is thinking of so many things, going through a lot of stress. Then you get to the airport, you are likely going to be attacked by a lot of things at the airport, from the entrance to lining up to checking in. One guy will come and meet you. Do you want to weigh your bag? Another person is asking. No, all of them are so scattered, so you don't even know what you're supposed to do. Someone can take your bag away from the airport, and you might not know who the person is.
Exactly.
Then you get your bag checked in. They will now tell you to go and check it at that place for clearance. Then you now come back before you go to your boarding gate. Then you now get to the airplane itself. The air hostess or whoever is there does not know the stress it took you to get to that place.
Even the air hostess has stress to get there.
When they
If you are
she's suffering the same thing you suffered. Everybody should comport themselves.
She has been paid to do different.
She has been paid to do
Don't
that.
make excuses. You that you are flying, you have money too. You are not a poor
Have you
person.
not had issues
you
when...
have made money before you can fly. Don't make excuses for nasty behaviors. You can't get in a public place.
No, I don't agree.
Nasty.
Have you not had instances? Have you not had instances where a air hostess will come to you and like, please put off your phone? And I'm like,
why would you be told?
Wait now. No.
They have announced it.
No,
why would you wait for an air hostess to come and meet
allow
you?
Me land.
They have announced it. The pilots announced it. Everybody heard. Some people did that immediately.
No, allow me
it's
land.
not because they are afraid.
There are instances where probably you are delayed with what you're doing.
Yeah.
They have held you at the aircraft. They have their own faults. They have held you
Not
because
always.
Wait, probably they could not fly immediately. Maybe another airline is on the tarmac or something like that. There are instances like that. So I might be on my phone while that whole delay is going on, and wanting to close up. The next thing you will hear that person say is, "Sir, please, if you don't put up that thing, we will have to take you down the flight." They do that all the time.
Because you had that thing maybe like 5 minutes ago and you're still with your phone.
I'm just saying on how
there are better ways to communicate.
Talk to people. Because this comfort girl, we don't know the level. We've had different position and opinion on what would have infuriated her to explode like that. But we've not actually, because she wasn't preempting to see that there was going to be a fight. So probably nobody videoed or tried to video what transpired from beginning. You don't know. A lot of persons have come to say that particular air hostess, she's known for being this kind of arrogant.
I read the reaction of a passenger who said she sat directly across.
She should come out.
How are we sure he's telling the truth?
How are we sure he's not saying the truth also?
How are we sure he's also?
Let's get the account first. Let's get the account.
Across the lady. She said the first air hostess was polite, but that she described the second air hostess as a witch. That's the word she used, as a witch. Now, beyond all of that, right now in America, there is this talk about what they call black fatigue. Why? Because the average black American or black in America seem to be displaying this attitude of anger, at the slightest provocation, I'm beginning to wonder, Wale, in Nigeria, are we having Nigerian fatigue? Because Nigerians, one, seem to have a unprecedented sense of entitlement. We just believe that, you should know better.
The fact is this: if they are just seeing black fatigue, Nigerian fatigue has existed for too long. We interact with people every day, and I was telling someone lately. I said Nigeria will force you to lie, because you can get to a place, and when you see the amount of hardship there, you have to force yourself into that kind of hardship also, so that nobody sees you like maybe you can afford a meal, So you just act like, things are very hard, the kind of thing. So the Nigerian fatigue is extremely there. I feel Nigerians need to even apologize to themselves. I think everybody just needs to tell everybody sorry. Sorry. Because what we're going through is enough. I understand what Kule was saying the other time when he said the air hostess also is going through a lot of things.
Yeah.
But when it comes to some services that are being rendered, we experience this thing everywhere. Banks. Sometimes you get to the bank and you're trying to talk to customer service. And you ask yourself the question, like, have I done anything wrong to you?
Go and call.
Exactly. Go to that place. Pick this.
We
get these things.
That extension of anger.
Is it that in the service delivery sector, we have not been able to draw the line between personal issues and the ability to be professional?
Clearly.
You see, let me tell you something.
Clearly.
I've been in the service delivery sector for a very long time. I've been in the hospitality industry. I worked in hotels where I have to deal with customers and guests that comes every day. And I tell you what, it takes extreme patience to deal with a lot of people.
Which is why you are being paid.
A lot of Nigerians.
Being trained before
you are trained, you are paid to stay patient with people.
I get you. Let me tell you something. We're human beings. We're not robots. Even the person that is training you know that you have a threshold.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
And when that guest keep pushing your button, nobody will tell that guest that, okay, you are pushing up to the threshold already. Are you getting me?
Yeah, but in that instance, people will see.
Are you supposed to react, or you're supposed to call another person to react?
handle
Because in a hotel, if they push you, you can call security. You don't have to.
No, wait. There is a line of
There's
action.
a protocol.
There's a protocol.
Yeah.
For instance, if I was the manager and I was called to see an action, my thing is to try and see how I can calm down.
Would the manager be able to stay calm all through?
You will.
Exactly.
To a certain level.
No,
to a certain level.
the manager.
Wait. If the guest becomes so aggressive, for instance, and then maybe let me give you an instance.
No, the manager finish it because the manager might end up calling security to come and handle the matter.
Let me
take the person away.
Let me give you an instance. A guest
because that's what he was paid to do.
A guest once threw pepper chicken on one of my waiters.
That was not peppery enough.
Was very peppery. And he was wearing white.
Yeah.
So he threw it at him, and the guy was like, oh my God. And I stepped in and I said, oh, Mr. John, what's the problem? I knew that he has done something gravely wrong because it's part of our rules that you cannot abuse our staff. He has just crossed the line.
Yeah.
Are you getting me?
Yes.
Now, I asked him what happened. He said, get the fuck out of here. And I just stepped back and I just called the security.
Clearly.
Get him out of here.
Exactly.
They had to drag him.
Exactly.
He's a white man.
So
they dragged
the security
him.
guys
Basically, all his friends that was there, in front of his friends and the people that he was forming big man for, they dragged him out of there, irrespective of how they dragged him.
Mr. Kule, that is my point.
So
you are not the one to play the dirty game. That's why you are trained as a customer's rep.
Wait. The airline that you are talking about, that air hostess you're talking about might be the supervisor in charge.
Yeah, but she would have called the security people to handle things.
There is no security on flight when that thing started.
So are you saying that the airlines didn't preempt? The airlines cannot preempt that there could be issues like this?
No, I don't agree with that. Because before you land, they would have radioed the security people to come to
Now, the security, before they get to the point, you cannot stop other passengers from getting down. But there's a procedure.
No, they can delay. They usually do that. They delay.
Once the flight has landed,
the doors will not be open.
They will not open before security comes.
Open now. The security will come in.
Now, we understand that this is an opportunity for some of these suggestions we are making. And that was why when we came back from the break, I said, what are the lessons to learn? Can we borrow from what happens in the American aviation industry where every flight has what they call an air marshal? Because now, I think at a point in time, the American aviation industry had similar issues like we are having
If it becomes frequent, obviously, some kind of security checks must always be available.
Because now it becomes the responsibility of the air marshal to quell the situation.
Yes.
Okay, let me just point out a few things from what has happened. What has happened. Like I said, there is a big lesson that we need to learn from there. It's unraveling a lot of things. Okay, for instance, I was wondering when the girl was taken out, there was no cuffs on her. They should cuff her.
Exactly. Clearly, yes.
To restrain her from throwing hands and all those things. They should cuff her. And then number two, when they got into the plane, in fact, they should cuff her from the plane to say, okay, yes, we're arresting you for so and so. Do you understand?
Well,
now, those are things that I think...
I watched a video recently of a lady who was asked off the plane by the air hostess, and where it was because other passengers actually complained about her, and the air hostess asked her. I think the initial instruction was for her to change seats. She refused, and the passengers insisted that they were not comfortable with having her in the plane. So they asked her off the plane. She wasn't cuffed. The security came.
Because she didn't do anything.
The security came and escorted her, but they cuffed her
once she
on the terminal.
terminal. Yeah.
So now,
the terminal.
one of the things we have to be careful about also is when we're talking about this thing, we should not give an expression as if we are putting so much powers in the hands of air hostess, because they could be very unruly.
Exactly.
Before you know it, someone will tell you, "Can you stand up, please? I'm talking to you."
I'm talking to you.
You
Yeah,
know,
exactly. I can
the
cough
fact
you.
is that they are rendering a service that we paid for. They need to be more patient, more humane.
That's the point.
We can misbehave.
So where is the place of?
There's a place of misbehavior for
the
clients.
customer is always right in all of this.
It has stopped happening in Nigeria.
No, customer is not right in Nigeria. No.
Customer, someone
Why?
will come to you, tell you, get out of here.
Because of the context of, do you know
Who I am?
So now, for me to get service value,
You must be. So did.
so
K1,
that also
you can
reflects.
also see-
Someone went to Kirikiri.
Yes.
Another person tendered
Can
apology.
tender apology.
Those are some of the
And
things,
even in
those are some of the
Kirikiri,
things I wanted to talk
even in
about.
Kirikiri, we were told that she wasn't put in. She was put in Gen Pop, general population.
Can you imagine?
Yes, she was put in Gen Pop, and the person who spoke to the media anonymously said that because she's not a VIP, she's not a known person, that yes, the incident had made her popular on social media and all that, but she wasn't
You see,
VIP.
those are some of the
Can you
things
imagine?
that I
No, I'm
believe.
serious. I read it
for someone
and I
who
was
might
like,
be standing up for
excuse
their
me.
rights.
Wait.
Exactly.
Protecting
And I
their-
was like,
their own
excuse
self.
me.
Those are some of the things I think we should talk about. Now, why would the aviation security or the Nigerian police let Kwamwan go home and then take this one to the court immediately?
She was arraigned
and then-
immediately.
and
Now,
then
the
taken to
according
territory.
So they can be that fast.
according
That-
to
exactly, that is-
according to
that is double standard.
NCAA, why Kwamwan was able to go home was because ValueJet did not.
Reciprocate.
Yes, they didn't activate. They didn't escalate the situation. It was the NCAA that escalated. They now directed ValueJet to take appropriate action.
So who stood in for the
Now,
girl now?
in the case of Emerson, it was Ibom Air that escalated, meaning that maybe Ibom Air took precedence from what happened during the Kwamwan.
Escalated to NCAA.
They escalated it.
And the
but-
police, they
but no,
involved the
They
police.
escalated, I think there is a protocol.
What I'm
They
saying is,
escalated
if
through
it's
the
going
protocol.
to end on FAA stable or NCAA stable, and Kwamwan ended there, wherever it ends, there's no, if it's going to get to me, whichever way it gets to me, it does not matter. Who takes the decision? But you see, outside this whole thing, who is punished, who is not punished, the kind of punishment and things, the question about why did the police do that, it's only police that can answer that. I'm not part of them. I just feel there's a need for the aviation industry to understand the mandate of what it means for you to have customers. The industry will end if everybody sees them as being unruly.
Exactly.
If everybody feels Ibom Air, because I think another incident came out lately again about Ibom Air, where a particular woman was stopping the whole plane from flying. If everybody feels Ibom Air is not safe again to fly, or they don't abide,
There's another video about Ibom Air.
Yeah, nobody
just
will.
recently.
Nobody will
that's
fly
what
And I
Ibom Air.
think more
And the
videos
business
will
will
emanate
die.
over time.
Yeah.
So,
More videos
so
will emanate over time.
service management is a key thing that they need to learn how to manage their clients. And you see, a lot of things could be handled in better ways. I feel bad for anybody that's been part of this. I feel bad for the airline itself. I feel bad for whoever has been punished. And my take is just, as I said, everybody needs to just get themselves right. And for the black fatigue, the Nigerian fatigue is more than enough. We just let's cope with ourselves. Let's manage situations. People can come to you, act erratically. Just understand the fact that what you're feeling is what the person is feeling also. I was abused by touts in Abuja. And they said they called themselves task force. I stopped to drop a friend and they came. They beat me up, collected 40,000 from me for what I don't know and stuff. Who am I going? Who are you reporting to? Who are you complaining to? It happens to everybody. So, but you know, it's the Nigerian fatigue. It's a bad place
Now,
to be. Right
Kwamwan has been made a aviation security ambassador. What precedence is that setting?
Anyway, I from my own perspective, I think it's a strategic move by the aviation industry to ensure
and the
that
government.
even those people that are corporates can be
Used as an
reoriented and then bring back into the society, because after all, what we call the prison today is supposed to be a correctional facility, whereby the people that are supposed to be accused or confirmed as judged can come back and become good to the society. So I think that's was the idea of getting him to say, okay, yes, I've done these things before. It's not right. Let us do things right when we get to the airport. Let us follow the rules and regulation. If your rights are infringed on, there are better ways of putting it out there on seeking redress. If, like I said, I keep reiterating this. I don't want us to get sentimental about this whole thing. If that lady was keeping quiet all the while those people were misbehaving at all, trust me, you would have seen a lot of videos. You would have seen all the passengers standing on the tarmac saying, we're not going anywhere, you're not taking her anywhere.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, people would have stood up for her. But because they decided to just mind their own business and leave, means that they felt that she wasn't doing the right thing.
But isn't that kind of the Nigerian attitude?
No, Nigerians don't always behave like that.
I think that Nigerians are quick
always
to support
exactly
where there is an issue.
The second video that we're talking about.
No, but we've seen that happen. I mean, the NBA coming up to especially after the videos made the rounds on social media, and civil society groups are already.
I think a lot of people are just jumping on the troll, like, okay, we just want to use this to be popular. Come on now.
Not like the NBA. I think the NBA came first of all to attack what Ibomir said and what AON. AON came up, Airlines Operators of Nigeria, and said they are putting on a lifetime ban. And they don't have the powers to do that.
Exactly. Those are the things that I feel NBA saw. That felt that, okay, this is too much.
Who is asking what was this girl? What was her right that was infringed?
Nobody asked that question. It's only the NBA that has highlighted that she was indignified, her rights were infringed upon. And
members of the NBA will stand for the airline company as well. So don't get it twisted.
I agree.
When you say NBA, doesn't mean all the lawyers in Nigeria agree with that.
I agree with you. But I'm happy you even pointed that out, because as you were speaking, I was thinking the wheel of justice in Nigeria moves extremely slow, except when it wants to move fast.
Well, let's not forget again. Remember the case of the copper girl?
Yes.
When other people came out to speak for her.
Exactly.
Even she herself, she has felt another wrath where they
didn't allow her pass out.
They didn't allow.
But they came up with a communique that that these are some of the people that had penalties and are to report back in 3 to 6 months.
That is where I'm going.
Something like that. So I'm saying that
when you stand up for what you believe is in your right in Nigeria,
you get punished.
You get punished. They find some technicalities to justify that the law, the constitution, the day says, and it shouldn't be that way.
So the NBA has to come out to help the people understand how they can push their rights, so that they don't get this kind of treatment. Because if we keep getting scared of reacting because of we don't know what will happen, we will all just be receiving all of this every now and then. So I think the NBA still has a lot to do in terms of giving an awareness on how people can actually push their rights forward.
I did tell you it was going to be a heated, probably volatile conversation. In fact, while Bright was giving his summation, what came to my head was that Fela sang all of this. When he sang at that time, the assumption was that it's the influence of cannabis, But today, we are beginning to see that he was some kind of a prophet. But most importantly, I want to hear what your experiences are and your contributions to this conversation. So don't forget to follow, like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget, press that notification button. That's too much on this edition of Black and White, but trust us, as always, to have our eyes on the issues and, of course, dissect them right here on the show.